Hello, welcome back to Evil Genius Props. My name is Mike, and I'll be your Evil Genius for today. Today's project is continuing on with our Summer of Tiki. Uh, and what we're doing today is there's a common thing now that you see at Tiki events where people will have a little fob in their hat. It'll be something like a flower, or the one I like has been a rum barrel. And I was actually at an event recently and saw one of these where they had the rum barrel, there were two torches sticking up, woo, and uh, frankly, I was disappointed that the torches didn't light up. Like, they should at least light up, if not be a flicker bulb. So, me being me, I made note and decided to just go ahead and make my own. So I'm in the process of, we're going to start that. And first things to do was actually to go to the computer. I found a 3D model of a barrel I liked. I probably could have tried to make one, but this was faster. And just modified it enough to be able to put it onto a hat. And we'll put a torch next to it and see how it all goes. So let's go to the bench. All right, and here it is all printed out. I put the supports on the back so that way these support marks wouldn't be visible. This one's just sort of a prototype where I would probably sand this down. I just want to see if this will work. But next step is going to be to prime it and then start working on the little torch. To make the torch, I got these square tubes of styrene at the hobby shop. I would say local hobby shop, but they're not terribly local to me. And I got square because I also have plans for future plans for these for another project. But I'm just going to cut off a chunk to use as the base of the torch, and then we're going to run a flicker LED. This just really does not like focusing. There we go. Through the top and wire it through there. That's why we got the tube version. So I can run a wire through that specifically from one of these guys. Let me just make sure this happens to fit. Okay, good. So I'm going to cut this off to the length I want, and then we'll grab our flicker LED. Let me zoom in a little bit because we're way far out and you're going to lose that. All right. Take the flicker LED and see about wiring it up. Kind of mush the end a little bit, but that's okay. We'll put that. We'll put the LED on that side. So for the flicker light, the LED, I took basically one of these guys that you put in a pumpkin, except it wasn't working anymore. So I took it apart and found that if you apply the battery just right, it does in fact still work. So probably somewhere in that complex wiring schematic something went wrong. But I'm going to cut it off anyway, so I don't really care. So we're going to use that for our flicker LED. You can buy these as well, and I'm going to buy some to get the specific size I want later on for, like I said, the other project. Also gets super bright, but this is sort of a proof of concept. So I'm just going to cut this off. Just cutting it off. There we go. So if you want to see how LEDs have a positive and negative lead, and the easiest way to test if you can't tell is just stick that in there. So if I put it in this way, so it's touching this piece and this piece, lights up. If I flip it around, go the opposite way, no worky, no light. All right, solder those up real quick. Get that down in there. Left some extra room on the wire here. so that I can sort of slide it out of the way to paint this and also paint this. We're going to make this look a little bit more like a flame. All right, so our LED is wired in, still functional. To make the LED look a little bit more like a flame, we're going to use a hot glue gun just as soon as I unhook it. There we go. And it's just as simple as we're going to lay some hot glue on it and try to make it pull it up a little bit. I'm going to try holding it upside down like this, sort of, so let gravity work with me here. But there we go, a little bit of a flame. All right, now we're just going to paint this stick. Let that dry. We'll go check on the rum barrel, see if it's dry. All right, barrel's all dry. We'll paint it real quick. Have a nice coat of color on there. Part of the nice thing about priming it in black is that some of the sides there, the black is showing through. So almost like if I had done a black wash on it. So there we are. Things are nice and painted. I think actually I'm going to do a quick black line here on the barrel. And then glue this onto here, and I probably should have trimmed off the excess on this, but I'm just trying to figure this all out, so I'm not too worried about it right now. I think I'll probably just do a coil or something and coil it up so that it can sit underneath, something like that. And if I make more of these, I would put something to cover this up, and or try to figure out a way to put the battery actually in the barrel here. I've got some room. I think maybe future versions the barrel will be a little bit bigger because I kind of cut it off short. If I made it a little bit wider this way, we'd have more room. We'd have more room this way. So things to learn for next time, but overall as a prototype, trying to figure this out, looking good so far. I chose the one with the cork, so we'll go ahead and put a little dab of paint on that. While those are drying, I'm going to go ahead and stick the... I will let them dry first, actually. All right, so there it is sort of on the hat. I'm reasonably tall, just over 6 foot, so you probably won't notice this because you'll get more of this sort of an angle. But even still, I think what I want to do going forward is actually make the barrel a little bit bigger to be able to hide the battery pack inside it. But that's one of those things I couldn't have guessed was going to be the case until I actually did it and figured out how to do it, which is why this is more of a proof of concept than like a final product or anything. But I'm happy with how that turned out. Let's turn off the lights. And there it is with the torch. And again, overall, I'm pretty happy with it. Like I said, next time I think I'll make it so I can hide the battery packs inside the barrel. But overall, happy with how that turned out. I'd also like this to be a flicker bulb. I thought it was. Turns out it wasn't. But we'll fix that for the future ones going forward. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.